Alright, let's jump into a brand new studio tour in Berlin. This time we are visiting the iconic Soundfabrik. As you can already see, it is one of the city's flagship studios. It has a huge control rooms and tons of space everywhere, a real luxury in 2025. The tour is guided by recording engineer Michael Ungerer, along with the studio's two new owners, Julia Selber-Castellano and Guilherme Castellano. You will hear from them at the beginning and at the very end of the video, as they share what it means to run a studio in 2025 and the crazy adventure behind it. It is truly a beautiful space. It has a modern Neve console, exceptional instruments and some gorgeous outboard gear. I have pinned a comment with a full gear list, including some pieces that aren't mentioned in the video. And speaking of great gear, I've got something useful for you. If, like me, you spend way too much time scrolling through Thomann, you already know about their B-Stock, refurbished gear at the best possible price. Well, the sponsor of today's video helps you track these deals. Audio Deals Alert lets you paste the URL of the product you want, and you'll get an email the moment it becomes available in B-Stock. It is the easiest way to grab the best price from the biggest music gear retailer in Europe. Audio Deals Alert doesn't sell your data, runs on affiliate revenue, and was developed in partnership with Thomann. Huge thanks to them for supporting this video. Without further ado, let's dive into Soundfabrik in Berlin. Enjoy the tour.
Long time ago, a couple 100 years ago, it was a soap fabric, and that's why we kept Soundfabrik. So it was a soap factory, but it was a studio for 10 years, only with Studio A, what you saw. Studio B wasn't here. This was a big office, but we didn't need the space. And when we took over 3 years ago,
we knew the studio before because, we are also making music and we rented out the space before. So we had a relation to Robin, the studio manager. And we knew the studio and we kind of heard that it's closing and that the old owner didn't want to run it anymore. And then everything happened very fast and we took over.
Okay. Did you relook it? Did you redo the look?
A couple of things. So here was...
Mainly that part,
carpet,
actually.
it was all white, so we put some color. That was Julia's job to choose the color.
Small details.
We bought some equipment for Studio A, like we changed the speakers, we put the ATCs there. Not too much there, but we built the Studio B completely from the ground.
Well, we are at Soundfabrik Berlin, which is one of the bigger studios in Berlin.
Yeah, it's quite big. The live room is quite. The
live room is
huge.
about 100 square meters, I think. Yes, we have actually there's two studios: Studio A, which is the older one, and Studio B, which is a new one. It's basically an immersive studio and production suite. You don't actually need an engineer. You can just come in, plug and play. Basically, it has Dolby Atmos, and the big studio with a big live room hosts a Neve Genesis plaque, which is custom built, I'd say, for the studio. We went up to Burnley to actually pick it up. Attached to the live room is a vocal booth.
Wow, that is a big vocal booth, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty big vocal booth, You can actually also record instruments there, but it's very dry in terms of acoustics. We did also video dubbing, that's why we have a screen here. Then there's another booth, which is a drum booth.
Nice.
You see a nice, beautiful drum kit in there, and
I love the blue tiles. It looks super cool.
Now we're entering the big live room, which is very
So
big.
this is quite unusual nowadays to have such big live rooms. Like, it's really tough to find this nowadays.
That is true. What we do is a lot of jazz recordings, and jazz cats, they always play live. So it's nice to have, a whole jazz band, could be 5, 10 people in here. Sometimes we put the drums in the drum booth, or we, if there's a brasses or double bass, often put in a vocal booth. But still, for live bands and live playing, it's good to have a nice room. And we also have a great grand piano.
Okay,
which
so
is a Steinway.
I don't know anything about piano. Tell me what it is.
It is a Steinway D, Model D, so the biggest of the Steinway pianos. And it's actually refurbished by a company called Klangmanufaktur. They refurbish old Steinway grand pianos. And this one actually, if I'm not wrong, but this one came out of the Konzerthaus Berlin.
Can you show it?
I can.
So
it's beautiful sounding grand piano, yes. So we do a lot of classical recordings as well. I recently recorded a neoclassic piano album, I'd say. Just mixed it in stereo, and the guy actually wants to have it in Dolby Atmos as well. So keeping this in mind, when I did the recording, I already set up a couple extra mics for, the surround feel for the Dolby Atmos mix. Yeah, and everyone who comes in and plays on the piano is just like, whoa, what a great sounding piano. And that's why it's good to have a big room, because a piano obviously sounds better in a bigger room than in a small, tiny room. So,
sure.
Yeah.
Any other instruments that are interesting?
There's
here?
a Hammond B3, which is also a very nice instrument with a Leslie.
Yeah.
And the original cabinet, which came actually with the B3, I think. Yeah.
Cool.
It's amazing, sounding great, beautiful. And there's also a couple more. There's a Fender Rhodes, Wurlitzer grand piano, not grand piano, Wurlitzer electrical piano. Yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of instruments, because mostly people bring in their own instruments, except for keyboard stuff. Like grand piano, obviously, is hard to bring in a studio.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And so you are engineering most of the sessions here, or almost?
Most of the sessions, but often bands or artists come in with their own engineer. So I do assist, but I also run sessions, yeah.
Should we go to the control room?
Yes. Yeah, this is the control room. Center of the control room, I'd say, is the Neve Genesis Black.
Okay, so what are those Neve Genesis? Those are quite new consoles, right?
It was new about 10 years ago. I think we bought it in 2015, and it was pretty new, yeah. Okay. And you have to order it, and then they build it according to what you want, because in this case we have preamps 1073s, and it originally comes with the 88R preamps, so we upgraded to like the old style Neve preamps.
Okay, so it's a modern console, but you have that
it's
vintage
a modern
Neve sound.
console. It's an analog inline console, in fact, but digitally controlled. So I have EQs and compressor in each channel, and
so you can recall on the computer?
And I can totally recall everything. Yeah, it's stored. So if I go to the EQ, I can adjust frequency and cut and boost here, and then can step to any channel I want to. And I can also put it in either in the channel path or the monitor path. So it's pretty flexible. Okay. I also have a DAW controller here in the middle section of the Genesis.
Okay, it's not part of the Neve, it's something else.
That's part of the Neve, but it basically controls my DAW.
Okay, yeah.
So it's, since we don't have Pro Tools open yet, so I can't show you, but it's basically, just a Hui controller for Pro Tools, which is nice and handy when you do mixes.
Okay, and you are doing a lot of classical engineering?
Or
quite a lot?
Classical in terms of classical music?
Classical instruments, so we have neoclassic or classic. Those Neve preamps are quite colorful. Isn't it too much sometimes? Do you use it? Do you always use those preamps?
No, I don't. It really depends on the recording. For a classical piano, the last piano recording I did, I used we have the DAD interface, which is a Digital Audio Denmark's a company that makes high-class analog to digital interfaces, and they also have mic line inputs, and they're super clean. So they have no color, nothing, and that's what I use for classical recordings mostly.
Interesting.
If I want the color of the Neve, I definitely use the Neve preamps. Also have, a couple other vintage stuff. I have Telefunken or TAB preamps. There's a pair of Chandler Germaniums. The Millennia has a different color. There's also Neve 88R preamps. So yeah, it depends on what sound I'm going for.
Okay. So. Do you use some of this gear when mixing, or is it just when you're tracking?
Basically when I'm tracking. In fact, because mixing is done mostly in the box these days, it's really rare that I mix on the console because, I do it at home or anywhere. And if you do Atmos, it's in the box anyway. So, but for tracking, I do use pretty much everything. It depends on how much time you have. But when I do jazz stuff, I use a lot of the compressors, and it's old 1176 or the 1178 Uray. It's a star level compressor, which is an old, I think they built it first in the 50s. And it's a great sounding piece of equipment. And it basically, I'm looking for a certain sound when I do recordings. And it starts with obviously the musician, but then, the microphone, the choice of microphone, the choice of preamp and or compressor. So.
Okay. Can you talk about monitoring? What are those big ones with Dynaudio?
Well, the big ones are DIN Audios, powered by a lab amplifier. You don't use them much. It's basically, if the client comes in, sits in the back, and you play them the tracks, then you use the big ones. But mostly I use the ATCs. And in the big room, and in Studio B, we have a big pair of ATCs as well. So,
once again, a big room, right? Super high seating.
The big room, the big control room. Yeah, it's also nice to have daylight.
Yeah, that's quite a luxury, right?
It's a luxury, yes. It's a bit of a mess in here. It's a server room, but...
Okay, so those DAD converters?
Yeah, that's the DADs, exactly. That's obviously the Mac.
Okay, is it all Dante in here?
Well, that's the heart of the system, and it's connected via MADI.
Okay, it's
Dante.
MADI.
Yeah, it's MADI. It's a bit old, but same thing. 64 channels each direction, so... Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of microphones. One of my favorite microphones is obviously the Neumann U67, which I really love.
Beautiful.
Beautiful microphone, beautiful sounding microphone. You can use it on pretty much anything, and it always sounds great.
Is it the go-to vocal mic here?
It is my go-to vocal mic, yes. Okay. I don't speak for any other engineers because there's a bunch of great mics in here. This 147.
Beautiful.
Beautiful, yes.
For kick drum, you like it a lot?
I like it for kick drum, but you can use it. I've used it as vocal mic. It sounds amazing on female voices. Yeah, or on double bass, I use it. I used it on cello, so yeah.
Okay,
it's
cool.
Pretty versatile. See, that's the
the sound system?
Sound system that we have in here. It's a Stutt. The guy from Dresden built it.
So it's a small company?
It's a pretty small company, but pretty well known in, you know, the live scene, club scene. So it's great sounding system. A bit too much for this room, but
Yeah.
hey, can't have too much.
Yeah, it's never too big.
It's never too big. And this is the Atmos Room.
Wow.
You can see it's a 741 system, 7 surround speakers, a subwoofer and 4 ceiling speakers. And yeah, it's an amazing sounding room. It's a good looking room. It's really fun to work in here. So
Okay,
yeah.
I love the fabric. I'm in the process of doing the acoustic treatment of my new studio, and this fabric,
Yeah.
I should have picked it up.
Yeah, you should have, man. You should have.
It looks great.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah, I love the look.
Really well designed, and I mean, if you close the door, you can hear that it's amazing in terms of acoustic. It's very dry, but still doesn't sound, you know, too dry. And
Yeah, exactly. We can have the conversation.
we can have the conversation. We don't have to yell at each other, or we don't have to whisper. So yeah, it's really well built.
So what are you doing when you are mixing Atmos? What files are you using? Are you using stems? And what are you doing with those?
It depends on what I get. I mean, if I start a mix from scratch, I don't use stems because then I'm, you know, just start mixing just like a stereo mix. I do the stereo mix first and then put it in my Atmos session just to have a reference because it shouldn't sound too different to the stereo mix.
Yeah,
But
okay. Is that a challenge?
no, not really. I think the challenge is to make it sound good on headphones because most people listen to headphones. The main focus when this room was built was to first have an Atmos mixing suite, but also use it as a production suite or a mixing room. You know, if an external engineer comes in and just wants to have a nice, acoustically well-treated room to do mixes, or even to record guitars. Not too long ago I had a guitar player in here and we just tracked guitars for, I don't know, a couple of weeks. We did it in here. Anyone who wants to come in can either use the computer that's in here or can come in with his laptop and just plug in. There's also a DAD interface. Just plug in and use his computer and the system that's in here. Any stereo mix or tracking, you can just come in with your MacBook and start working.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are in Studio B because I love the look, but also because it's quite new here. It has this Dolby Atmos system.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Was it important to have this system in a new studio in 2025?
It was, and it wasn't. So it wasn't a priority in the beginning when we started the project. When we started the project, we took over the studio 3 years ago, and for us, right away, it was clear that we needed to expand because
We want to be as versatile as possible, right? Because the space is pretty big, and we knew what Studio A, what you can do, but we wanted to work parallel as well, to have smaller productions, singer-songwriters. You can just plug in your laptop and work very small as well. But of course, we also heard the buzz about Dolby Atmos, and we wanted to give it a try. It kind of appeared with a collaboration of the speakers and.
Yeah, it's just running a studio 2025, but 2022 at the time. I think you just have to be flexible. And we felt that Studio A, we couldn't offer, we wanted to offer more. So, for example, we had singer-songwriters that they wanted to record, but they couldn't afford and they didn't need such a big studio. And we couldn't also put the price so much down because, we pay a lot of rent. So.
Yeah.
So that was the idea, also like a mixing, songwriting session. And then we heard of Dolby Atmos. We were like, okay, we have this space. WSDG, they designed, we asked them, hey, could we include some Atmos? And they're like, yeah, okay. The acoustic's perfect for that. That was...
Cool. So you took over in 2022, so
yes.
Just right after COVID?
Right after COVID,
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, so
yeah.
how hard is it to take a studio right after COVID?
It's not easy. It's crazy, you know, like technically we are only here for 3 years, but yeah, time is running so fast and the industry keeps changing, and every year you feel like, now you know the rhythm, because music works in waves, right? Like in summer everyone is touring, is playing live concerts, and then we always thought we understood, when the busy months are, but every year it's different, and new opportunities also appear. Like we are doing things now that we didn't even think we would do in the beginning. For example, like tour rehearsals. We're doing a lot of tour rehearsals now. So of course, bigger bands that are preparing for their tour, they want the privacy to rehearse. They love to have the daylight, and they have a lot of space, and they don't need to necessarily record. But yeah, we have a lot of space and we have the capacity, and we found out it's actually something we really enjoy doing. And that's something we never thought of doing. So yeah, I think that's the good part, that we love to do several things. We're not so fixed of like, we only like to do this or that, and it needs to be very specific. We are always very open and happy to meet new people, and yeah, overall not easy though.
Okay, but a few good surprises.
Absolutely.
A few good ones, a couple of bad ones.
Yeah.
I think to run a studio this time, I guess everyone will say that it's not easy, and we found since the beginning that we gotta be open-minded. We gotta try to do Dolby Atmos. We gotta try to do rehearsals. We gotta try to do videos and small concerts we have done here too.
Sometimes
artists that they want to do listening sessions with their fan base, so we have this space for that. So
exactly. And sometimes it's scary, right? Like you don't know really where does it develop, like in general with studios, which direction does it go to. But I think, I believe, it needs to have a future, and you just need to be able to always adapt.
Okay, thanks for keeping such a beautiful studio alive. Well, what's up with you guys those next weeks or months in the studio? Any cool projects? I guess we can't talk much about it, but are you busy those next weeks?
We have a couple of recordings. We have some string session next week.
Some tour rehearsal.
Christmas
is coming up.
So,
okay, you have the whole package, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you.
Bye.